Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Thursday. It's October 27th. This is our chart lesson for the day. This is going to wrap up our week. Unfortunately, I'm going to go through this one really quickly today. My wife had some car problems this morning, and we dropped her car off at the shop, and now they got it ready, so we got to pick it up, and I got to be there. I got to pick her up and take her before they close, so I'm really limited on time this afternoon. Uh, Also, it's very possible. I think we're still going to have a midday chart on the website tomorrow morning, but if there's not one there, you'll know why. I've got a personal. I've had some other personal things going on this week, and so I've been late a couple of times with it, and it'll either be a little bit early tomorrow or there won't be one at all. So I'm going to come in and trade in the morning, but I got to leave early. So if I have time to do it before I have to leave, I will. And but otherwise, if there's not one there, you'll know why. It wasn't that I forgot it or didn't do, or I just couldn't do one. So, but anyway, I'm going to run through this chart lesson real quick. It's going to be really quick, and then I'm going to wrap it up. But there's a two-tiered channel here, but it really didn't help you much until maybe late this afternoon. And then again, I still really don't think it helped you much. I think you could have got by without it. So it's not really, it's there, but when it doesn't help you through the day, really all you needed was these short term ones. You got one down, one up, one down, one up, and then one down. I don't have the other side on here. But that's all you needed today to trade by. And if you had those, you were in good shape. So, um, but anyway, let's back out, talk about these trades. And again, I'm going to move through these really quickly. I apologize, but hopefully I'll be back on track next week. But you can see we had a trend working up. Maybe it's a two-tiered channel, maybe it's not. It doesn't really matter. See, it doesn't really, either way, you still, if you get a measured move over here, you still get the break and move to a new high and then it reversed. I mean, this is a pretty strong move to a new high, but really by the time we're trading, it's almost over with. So just sit here. It's tempting to want to go short up here off any of these, but you see if you'd went short right there, you'd have got burned, and of course this one would have worked. But generally that's what happens. So you're almost always better to wait on a lower high, and that came right here. And this one was almost right back into the support here, um, but I still liked it. And the reason being is this still acts as a breakout pullback short. Look how bearish that is. Um, when you've sat here all morning and you're that far away from the EMA and it's been that long since you had a correction, um, we're probably going lower. So I like that one. It's real close to being green because it's right into that support. But as I said, that still acts as a breakout pullback short. We should have went higher there, and we didn't. And for that big a bearish of a bar, we're probably going lower. And you see it pushes on through, takes it it doesn't go straight through. It goes through pretty easy, but it kind of hangs around there, and then it pulls back here. And what looked like the lower side of the channel turns out to, now you got to assume that that's a midline that pulled back to test it and it's turned down again. So that's your failed second entry long. So I like going short there. Um, and again, we start working down, and finally we get a bounce here. I don't think you want to go short into this. You can see we're just kind of going sideways and we're way overdone. Um, you might have thought about going short right here, but again, I probably wouldn't, because if you get the measured move, we're bouncing off this trend line now on the other side. And all you do is just go an equal distance between those two over. And that's what I did, and that's where it bounced. And so it comes back. You got a trend line working up here, and that's your first close outside. So generally, you're better off to wait on a higher low. But guess what? I'm sorry, let me back up. Generally, you're better off to wait on a new high, the close outside a new high, but it bounces off. And the way I got this trend line was I originally drew it off these lows and drug it up. And so I'm just waiting on prices to come back because that's probably the key entry point. And notice everything closed inside it there, and it comes back and tests it right here, plus the EMA. That's a lower high, so I like going short right there, and the bottom falls out of it again. And you would have also measured this move right here and drug this over. So that's your target you're shooting for, and look where we went a couple ticks maybe further, and then it reversed. So okay, I'm sorry I had an interruption there, but yeah, that was your measured move you're trying to reach, and so this one takes off, pulls back your failed second entry long here, and again a test of your midline, so we're probably headed to the bottom side, and it pulls back one more time here. I doubt I would add on there since it looks like we're going sideways now. But if I wasn't already in, I might enter there when it broke lower. This one's a little iffy. If you weren't in here, you're probably better off to skip it because it looks like it may bounce right there. So anyway, but there's some reasons to enter that one. It's just another attempt to go higher that fails, and you know your measured moves way down here. So, and then finally it touches right here. So you don't want to go short anymore, and you actually get an overshoot, and you're way away from the EMA. It's really tempting to enter here, but you got nothing to tell you that that's the bottom yet. But when you make this higher low and get that bullish bar, I like that one just to try to catch it back to the EMA, maybe back to the other trend line. And notice you got a trend line working up through there as well. You get a close, you try to go higher. It's just maybe a repeat pattern of this, and it turns down. The only reason I didn't mark this one, you probably, normally you'd probably try to take that one, but you couldn't get in that one. It happened so fast, and then it bounced, and it was all over with. So on my chart, you couldn't get in that one. But if you had a good setup and you weren't, you had plenty of room to get out, you might have entered there. It looks like this one may have failed if you couldn't get in it, but I really liked that setup and couldn't get in it, and it happened too fast. So, and notice what happens here. You get a confirmation of the trend line right here, and there's a second entry long, but it's not a very bullish bar, and you really haven't had a close here, although you did have an overshoot. But when it pulls back and tests that line again and turns up, I like going long right there. I wouldn't add on here because it's too close to the highs. And then, of course, it comes down. Now you get a break, move to a new high, but it comes back and it bounces right off that trend line again. You got to be concerned about going long here because we just had a close outside and a new high, but you figure we're probably headed up here. So this one's a little convoluted here. I'm pretty confident in that channel there. It's just prices got a little crazy here. But when it pulls back and touches the EMA and turns up one more time, I like going long then because this is a new low. Notice it's lower than that. That's your reversal pattern where you failed second entry short. Just go long right there. And lo and behold, that one gets exactly 5 ticks is what you need to scalp out, and it turns down again. And no way I'm going to go long here now after that break and a couple of legs up to a new high, 3 pushes up actually. It's sad because it's a really good trade. It does pull back again here, but now you're going long right into that. The odds are we're probably headed higher here, but you don't really have this channel yet. So, it's really dangerous going long right into that trend channel line there. Even though it went on through, you don't know that, and you don't really have this 2 tiers here. So, backing up a little bit, I think I was talking about down here, thinking about it going up there. But you don't have that yet, so you're just playing this trend line out, and and that's the reason you really got to be careful going long in here is because this trend line's played out, and you don't necessarily know this is 2-tiered because you couldn't really find it until you got this other swing right here. And so that's another reason why there's no trades marked here because this looks like this is the end of it right here. Of course, we push on up, we get the double top, and we're a good bit away from the EMA, and it ticks higher there and turns and goes out the other side. Just go short right there, and you almost could go short right below that signal bar right there as well. There's another piece I'm missing here. You actually could give this its own trend line, and because it's just another channel. It's just another channel basically. And look what happens. You get a close outside, a push up, a little, and one more try to double top, and it reverses. Just what you're looking to happen. Now it's off to the downside. And we're going sideways too much here, holding on that EMA, so I'm not going to get short right there. You do get your trend line off of that. Comes back down. There's a failed second entry long there, but you're not back to the trend line. Just no reason to go short there, and you can see some people got trapped there. And then you get your first entry short, you pull back, you get your second entry short, and it turns up. So there's your reversal pattern, your failed second entry short, go long right there. Quick, easy move back up. And we do overshoot this channel here as well. And then you get a first entry long, pull back. There's a second entry long there that was really tempting. It would have worked. But look at that signal bar, horrible. And you can't enter on this bar. So you just have to skip that trade. And you don't really want to get short necessarily right there. So you want to wait on the lower high, which comes here, and then that's too big a bar. But you get your reversal pattern here and your failed second entry long, and I like going short right there. And that was it for the day. So yeah, this was some little bit different price action here. But you can't argue with it. You draw your trend lines and you follow your price action. Simple as that. And again, if you had known this two-tiered brown channel was here, it really doesn't change anything. It might have put you in a couple of different trades here, but really it doesn't change anything. It might have led you to that trade right there only. And you would have had it maybe by that time too, but at the same time, it's just not a very good setup. So I don't think the brown channel really helps you in any way other than looking for this target of reaching here, but you still get a chance to go short even without it. So by following your short-term trend lines and understanding what's going on. So anyway, I'm sorry I have to rush through this one like this today, but I'm going to wrap it up. It's just a down channel, and actually you would have wanted to measure this measure leg. I showed you the two legs there and then move this over, and that would have been my target if we kept going lower, but we ran out of time today and we never got down there. So needless to say, that was it for the day. But again, we'll be back Monday to do it again, and if you don't see a midday chart on the website tomorrow, you'll know why. I had to leave early and I didn't have time to do it. So I'm going to try my best to do it. But we'll just have to see how the morning goes for me. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.